Welcome to Counseling Now. I'm Herman Cummings.
And I'm Grace Lopez.
Coming up, stress, how to handle it. But first, the Student Counseling Association, in continuing their efforts for volunteer and community involvement, was at Habitat for Humanity on Benning Road on Friday, February 19th, 2010. It was a great experience where 3 homes were being built. 8 students were there that were helping along with the Habitat for Humanity workers building homes for their community. Habitat houses are sold to families for no profit and with no interest charged. Volunteers provide most of the labor, and individual and corporate donors provide money and materials to build the houses. Families themselves invest hundreds of hours of labor into building their home and the homes of others. Mortgage payments go to the revolving fund for humanity, which is used to build more houses. And a little bit more about Habitat for Humanity. It was founded in 1985 in Georgia by local citizens who saw the need for affordable housing in the community. Since founded, the Columbus Habitat for Humanity has built 218 homes, with 2 homes currently under construction. Columbus Habitat for Humanity strives to build at least 10 homes per year. Homes are sold to partner families at construction cost and are given a 20-year no-interest loan. Partner families must work a total of 300 hours of sweat equity in order to receive a home. Volunteers are welcome throughout the week and on Saturdays with no construction skills are necessary. Volunteers must be at least 17 years age or older, and minors must have a waiver form signed by a legal guardian. Now, it was an incredible experience to be there with the students from CSU. And the students from CSU included COSA Vice President Monica Medlin, Nikki Green, the treasurer, along with Kellen Matthews, Emily Sargent, Lisa Zayreger, Lisa King, Melissa Diaz, along with myself. Now, I know you weren't there, Grace, but I'm sure you have a lot of questions about what the experience was like.
Yeah, how was it? How was the weather? How was everything?
Well, it was cold early in the morning, but as it got throughout the day, it got warmer. The weather wasn't a big issue. Really, the thing is that you were warm from the experience. It really was a great experience to go out and help others. And really, this is really what counseling is all about. It's about helping others and as a service to the community, because as counselors, we are as service to the community. It felt good to feel like you were making a difference, that you were helping others that were in need. And really, that's the heart of what counseling is all about, helping those who don't have the means to help themselves. And we built the foundation of a couple of homes that were there. We were there for several hours. It was a wonderful experience. Everyone there enjoyed themselves. And it really was a tremendous experience, something I'll definitely go again. And COSA is planning on bi-weekly going to these Habitat for Humanity sites and building the homes. Well,
that sounds great. Were you able to also meet the families?
No, we were not able to meet the families, but we met a lot of the workers there, a lot of nice people there. And they really do need the help, though, because there's not a lot of volunteers available.
So that's good. So COSA will be continuing to do this?
Yes, they'll be continuing doing this bi-weekly. We're planning on perhaps doing it sometime next week, hopefully in March. And it's going to be a great experience. And hopefully we'll get more students to come along.
Will they be announcing them?
Yes, it will be announced probably at the next COSA meeting when exactly the plans to. So stay tuned for that. The next COSA meeting, you'll be seeing that on listserv.
And I think it's March 2nd, Tuesday, March 2nd at 7:30 p.m.
Exactly. That is the next meeting, and I guess you'll need to stay tuned for the exact room number on listserv. And, oh, yes?
Was that experience less stressful for you?
Yeah, it wasn't really that stressful, no. It was really in the beginning, you didn't really know what you were going to do, so what you tried to do was just try to fit in. They gave you the tools and told you what they wanted. We were basically making the ground level so that they can put the cement on top, just building the foundation of a house. And it's almost like building the foundations for a family. And it was a great experience, something I'll definitely do again. A great use of my time. And now, what we're going to talk about is stress and how to handle it. Stress is a big part of our lives, and whether you're a counselor or not, and what you need to do to handle it. Grace?
And in order to understand stress, first we have to figure out what the definition of stress is.
Exactly.
Some people are unsure. They get some feelings, but they're unsure exactly what it means. And what it really means is it's a person's response to anything, a situation or event that causes some change in their lives. And usually a person will feel challenged or a loss of control, and so they start to feel stress. Have you felt any stress in these past few weeks being in the graduate
Well, I think
program?
anytime that you're a student, you feel stress, and there's many ways to handle stress. Some people don't even know how to handle stress. Are there any mechanisms available, to help deal with assignments here, your work responsibilities, family responsibilities that can pile up over time? So, are there any techniques available to help out with this stress?
There are lots of techniques, and each technique works on all the different parts that stress affects. So stress affects people physically, emotionally, behaviorally, and physically. And some of the ways it affects people physically is by possibly giving them headaches, stomach aches, different types of pains that they feel throughout their body. And some of the reasons that it affects them emotionally or mentally will be the irritability in their behavior, maybe the disruptive eating patterns that they have. Some people try not to eat, and some people just forget about eating because they're so busy. So if we break it down into all the different ways in which stress affects people, then we'll be able to help them and use those techniques you mentioned, Herman. Is there anything you use?
Well, the breathing techniques help. Sometimes you just do things that you like doing, maybe reading your favorite book or just doing something relaxing. Listening to music helps a lot. I think that that really helps relieve the stress. Just finding something that you like doing, that you don't have to think about the outside forces that are stressing you out. By employing effective physical, behavioral, and cognitive coping strategies, physically is adequate and regular sleep, exercise, and eating right can help. Relaxation techniques, like those I spoke of, and meditation. There's also behavioral. You can do time management, set realistic goals for yourself so you're not stressed out about not meeting those goals. Make them, you don't want to make them too easy, but make them reachable. Make a goal that you can reach. And then maybe as time passes by, it can increase and the goals can get bigger. And there's cognitive ways to cope with stress. You can examine the thoughts and beliefs that you have about what's causing you the stress, that maybe what you're stressing out about may not be that big of a deal after all. And really just think in your mind, what is the worst thing that can happen? And other strategies for coping is also avoiding dwelling on the past, learning to say no, which a lot of people can use. Learning to say no, not beating yourself up when things don't go right. Also ask for help from others. A lot of times when people are stressful, they keep to themselves and they're in isolation, which is another behavioral the thing that happens with stress, and it's best to ask for help, because when you ask for help, it relieves the stress and it allows you to relax. Another thing is confide in a friend. Listen to people who care about you, and just learn to laugh at yourself. Have a sense of humor, laugh at yourself. Sometimes we're not perfect, we make mistakes, things happen. Just laugh at yourself, it's not that bad.
And after you're done laughing at yourself, other things you can employ is to be able to figure out a plan that works for you. Like when Herman mentioned time management, for different people that may mean different things. Some people may like to use a planner where they can write out everything and block off all their appointments. There are other people who like to use a calendar, and in using the calendar, they like to highlight certain events, like appointments, maybe medical appointments are in blue, exams are in red. So there's different techniques like that that you can employ that are more tactile and you can actually try. There are also file folders and file cabinets. Maybe put each course in a file folder, and the file folder will be for each semester. You know, different ways you can organize things so they feel more personal to you, because that's a big part of stress management, what works for you.
Indeed, and counselors I know will feel a level of stress. I know that you've been in your practicum, you've been in your internship for quite some time. Have you ever felt stress relating to that, as far as helping your clients or the type of clients that you're getting?
Yeah, I mean, we get a wide variety of clients, and while we're also doing our internship in counseling, we also have courses that we're trying to complete at the same time.
Indeed.
So you really have to be able to manage your time. You know, I personally keep a planner in order to keep everything organized, because along with counseling different students at the university, I'm also doing presentations for diverse classes at the university. So you have to be able to manage your time and maybe even take care of yourself in the time that you are doing everything else.
Right, and it can be an ethical issue as well. You know, you need to take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help your clients. Self-care is a big deal, and if you're not self-caring, it's your clients that suffer. And it's taking time to yourself. Like Grace said, have a planner, because that's important. It's something that we all could employ in our lives, having a planner so that we know what we're doing and what time that we're doing it, so that brings some organization to our lives, because a lot of times stress has been a product of unorganization, and that's a big part of it as well.
And that's a good point you make, Herman, because if your life is unorganized, then continued stresses will continue to come up. And in order to help with stress, sometimes people use relaxation techniques, as Herman just mentioned a few minutes ago. And some of those relaxation techniques that people employ can be meditation. There's also progressive muscle relaxation, and that's where you take different parts of your body, tense them up for 5 to 10 seconds, and then slowly release them, so that different energy is being moved to different parts of the body, and you're thinking about that instead of all the stress that's going on in your life.
Indeed, I've tried that relaxation technique, and it really allows you to see what is tense in your body. If your facial muscles are tense, or you're tense in your arms, once you flex them and then release, you can see, oh, there was tension there. Because a lot of times when you're feeling stress, it's a physical manifestation, either in your face, your facial expressions, your muscles. So when you do that kind of technique, it really helps relax you and just breathe and really just take it all in, and then release it. And it's really a great technique.
It's a great physical technique to help with your physical stress, along with eating right, as Herman mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Staying physically fit, making sure that your body's being nourished the right way, and that includes sleeping. You know, make sure you get enough sleep. I know in grad school we may not get enough because we have exams to study for, we have to study how to help our clients, but you need to make sure you get maybe those 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Indeed, and helping others is a great way of relieving stress. I know, Grace, you asked me, did I feel any kind of stress when I was working? But you know what? When I was doing it, it was actually therapeutic in a way, because it helped me to release stress in a productive manner, you know, and helping others. You know, it really helps to calm you down. And I think that was a big part of it. And
it was also a physical workout almost.
Right, yes,
you were
indeed it
working
was.
out your body.
It really does. I didn't have to work out that day, because my workout was that morning. So it was indeed.
So that helped you out.
Indeed it did.
And along with those physical stress relievers that we just talked about, there are also the behavioral ones, like the time management, having a planner, but there's also the cognitive that Herman mentioned, which is having to make sure you kind of watch your negative self-talk, make sure you're not bringing yourself down.
Indeed. Because you know what, 75 to 90% of visits by the school physician are stress related. And so really just take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself mentally, it's going to transfer physically. It's getting it right in the mind, and that's why the counseling field is such an interesting and great field, because so many people are struggling with their minds. And once they get it right in their head, you can get it right physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, spiritually, and everywhere in between.
Yep. And college stress can cause fatigue, acid reflux, hair loss, and so many other problems. So it's important that while you're in college, you make time for yourself, make sure to sleep, eat right, work out, and employ any other techniques that might help you get through the day.
Indeed. And physically and behavioral stress, if you think you have one of these stress-related symptoms listed, please just try some of the techniques. Try relax doing muscle relaxation. Try listening to some music that helps you. Try a planner. Try some of the techniques that we've suggested today. Not one particular may not work for you. Try something else, because really, when it comes down to it, you have to take everything for what it is, and don't be so stressed out about something that usually don't really need to be stressed out about. Just take it easy, and you'll go make it.
And Herman, you mentioned that it's important for as counselors that we take care of ourselves so that we don't harm our clients. How do you think that might happen?
Well, if I'm stressed about an exam that's occurring next week, or if I'm upset that my girlfriend's upset with me, then I'm going to take that into the session. And what if I have a female client, and this female client reminds me of this person that I'm having a stressful relationship with? That will counter-transfer to the client, and that's not going to help the client.
Right.
And so what we want to do is you have to make sure and examine yourself. and make sure that you're at the right state of mind that you can help the client, because otherwise it's maybe better that you didn't even show up in the first place, because all you're doing is harming the client. You got to be just aware of yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings. If things come up during a counseling session, feelings that you question, you have to wonder, why am I feeling this way? What is this client doing to me that's making me feel this way? What is this about me that's making me look at this client in this way? Whether it be anger, any kind of emotion at all. It can be anger, joy, happiness. It can be physical attractiveness, a lot of things. So you just got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because you don't want to end up on the wrong side, which happens sometimes.
And do you think counselors should seek their own type of therapy?
Indeed, I think it is important for counselors to seek their own therapy, because really everyone is different and everyone has their own needs that they're not, things they have not worked out yet, and I think they all need to get that self-help. I think that for a true therapist to be good in therapy, they have to have been a client before. And it has nothing to be anything serious, but just going in and getting some work done so you know what it's like on the other side. And which can also help reduce stress, like you said before. It can be a very helpful tool. And COSA really is involved in all kinds of things, not just volunteer activity, but what we try to do is increase the developmental and enhance professional opportunities. This wasn't just something to help out the community, it helps us as counselors as well, because really it's the heart of what we do here at COSA and at Columbus State University.
And before we go, we'll flash up those strategies for coping so that you can get an idea of what needs to be done in order to take care of yourself. And remember, some of those things are avoid dwelling on the past. Make sure to laugh at yourself, as Herman said.
Yes.
Sometimes humor is the best defense mechanism.
Yes,
it can help you feel a lot better. And listen to the people who care about you. And if you need someone to talk to, make sure you find someone and ask for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Indeed.
I believe confiding in a friend is one of the most important. That would help me out the most. Just getting it out. Because sometimes when you just get it out, talk about it, it really releases your stress in and of itself.
And learn to say no. As graduate students, we tend to try and take on and be the best we can be, which is great. But we need to learn to say no in some instances so that we can take care of ourselves and keep going and be successful in life.
Indeed. And we hope that this has been very helpful to you. Once again, if you're interested in joining COSA, how can they do that, Grace? If we're interested in joining COSA?
They can come to our meeting March 2nd. It's Tuesday, March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. They can also email the president, Sarah Littrell, at Littrell, LITTRELL_Sarah, SARAH, at colestate.edu.
Indeed. And stay tuned on listserv for the exact room number. And again, it's going to be March 2nd. For Herman Cummings, this is and Grace Lopez, this is Counseling Now, signing off.